And welcome back, everyone, to the Zanpakuto creation series. From Ricardo Player One, we have the question of what is the Zanpakuto of Zuko? Zuko. I don't think we actually really ever does Zuko have a last name? I never even thought about that. I mean, let's see. Iroh, Ozai, Zuko's Zuko last name? Does Zuko have a last name? Prince Zuko from Avatar. The last ever doesn't have a traditional surname because the Fire Nation royalty, like other cultures in the show, uses titles and tribal affiliations such as Prince Zuko, Fire Lord Zuko. The name Zuko is a real surname. So the name Zuko is a real surname with origins in Eastern European and Slavic cultures, meaning sour or bitter. Okay, so yeah, that kind of actually sums it up. He doesn't have a last name. It makes sense. Anyway, Zuko. What is the Zanpakuto of Zuko? And okay, so this is one of those times where we can actually take, I think, a lot we see in the show and convert it into a Zanpakuto. Normally, I might look at some things, but it's not a guarantee for a Zanpakuto. We're not turning an ability into a Zanpakuto ability. We're trying to see what a Zanpakuto ability kind of fits them as a person. Or represents them. But here's the case where I think we can really make this work. So the standard form is that of a katana. Its release command is, I didn't actually think about that. Oh, rise. Rise is a good one. And now it's going to make sense in a minute with the name of the Zanpakuto. Rise. Should note, obviously, if you weren't going to figure it out, it's a fire type Zanpakuto. It's an elemental. Its name, though, is Yuhi, or setting sun. Its Bankai is Suun Joshu Tayo, or twin rising sun. Now, its Zanpakuto spirit takes the form of the dragons in Zuko's hallucination dream sequence he has when he saves the Avatar and kind of goes into just psychological issues. But I think it changes based on his Bankai. Like when it's in his Bankai, its true form is revealed to be the Dragon of the West dragon, the Iroh voice dragon. I don't see it being Azula though when it's in Shikai. I could see it representing more of a more adolescent version of himself. Because I think unlike most other Zanpakuto, which do grow their users, I think this one legitimately you see the personality change as Zuko starts to undergo his change. It's one of the few personalities I think in a Zanpakuto that actively changes its personality with its user. Now, in terms of the Shikai itself, I think it's going to look like one of his dual scimitars, to the point where it actually even looks like the half scimitar, like even the guard and handle are in that half form. Now, what does this Zanpakuto do? Well, obviously, like I said, it's a fire Zanpakuto, first and foremost. And I think really its main ability is to just, swipe and cause like embers and sparks. And, it's again, when it's grinding against something, it creates more, even through the air, it creates a lot. But that's the thing. It's very minor in terms of what it's capable of doing. It needs growth. It needs to be nurtured, very much like Zuko does. Now, if you reach peak Zuko with this Zanpakuto, now you're looking at a blade that just by moving it casually, not even a swing, just a light move across the air, sparks start to kind of fly off it a bit. Now again, this is not Ryujin Jaka where it just suddenly has flames, suddenly making flames. This is not Engetsu where again it's just wrapped in flames. It's not Momo's Tobiyume, which can just fire a fireball right at the gate. No, this is more like constant flame, almost friction, but not quite. And again, tied to more maybe like spiritual energy, whatever you want to call it. Now the Bankai, this is very unique. There technically aren't any real true dual Shikais. Katen Kyokatsui is the only one that's kind of a legit one, but even then, it's revealed that Shunsui had to actually made the second blade to hide Nanao's family blade, or family sword. Um, so there technically isn't any true dual Shikai. Technically, the closest ones we have are Shinsui's. Ichigo's technically became a dual Shikai. That's technically a legit one, but it can actually it can actually change forms. That's the thing we find. Kubo did real changes forms. Jushiro's is kind of, but it's still connected. And Hisage's is not. It is revealed that the chain itself is actually the Zanpakuto, not the blades. Um, so uh, that said, I think in Bankai he like holds the blade forward and then a second blade comes out and fire is now sparking and just he's constantly making fire. I think it's a very simplistic Zanpakuto in that sense. It's just a fire-based Zanpakuto. We don't know, for example, what the difference between something like Engetsu and Ryujin Jika would be in terms of the difference in fire. Although we do have at least a hint that if Ishin is injured, he can't use his Bankai because because his blood is like a catalyst and he can't fix his Ryatsu properly. So that tells us that some implication of what Engetsu might be able to do, or what its Bankai actually does. But I think this one is really just now he is the dragon. He becomes the dragon, and with these dual blades, just flapping them, like almost flapping or swinging them, creates like almost like the flapping sensation of dragon wings. And if he just swings his blades, it's like a dragon firing a giant like maelstrom of fire, like a giant whirlwind. So I think it'd be something very maybe he's got a set of wings on his back and he's swinging the blade, the wings disappear and come out as giant like fanning blades of flame, something like that. I could see that. Anyway, though, it's a simple, Zuko is complex, but I feel like the Zanpakuto is simple in that regard. So this is my thoughts on the Zanpakuto, the Shikai, the Bankai. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.